So, the death notification.
Dis-le que vous avez quitté l'appartement.
He's avoiding your gaze. And this is the time to say how sorry you are about how things went.
Ça ne s'est pas bien.
Well? No, it didn't.
Je suis désolé, je sais que j'ai merdé.
It's alright. Don't worry about it.
Je sais pas dans la contemplation des
I'll call the station when we're finished with the day, and let them know the name of the deceased.
Et puis ses enfants.
There's not much we can do for them anymore, I'm afraid.
Et c'est tout?
That's it. We should get back to our case. There's nothing more we can do here.
Bon, remettons-nous au travail.
And, officer, I've seen worse. This wasn't the worst I've seen, okay? Now let's...
I really have, he thinks. She was strong. She made it easy for us. You look south, over the crumbling balustrade. There, 1.2 kilometers away, a piece of broken stone cuts into the sky. A tomb. On it, a mural that used to say, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away." You cannot really see the felled building from here, but somehow you feel like you should return to it.
Ok, pourquoi que ça a dit ça tout d'un coup? C'est quand même étrange que ça ait dit ça, right? Hello? Pourquoi il avance plus? Comme ouais, l'auto est partie. Heureusement, les loadings sont pas longs parce qu'on en fait en tabarnouche du loading pour eux. Insert. Oh, bon. Prends pas ça, prends pas ça, prends pas ça. Faut pas aller l'autre bord. Ok, c'est pour ça qu'il voulait pas bouger de là. Promener sur... pour la promenade. Un autre boîtier d'alimentation qui n'en demande plus rien, il est vide. C'est sérieux là?
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, "Feld Electrical, R&D."
Pourquoi j'ai l'impression de connaître cet endroit?
Indeed, somehow you knew it was here, an urban ruin gutted by looters that once used to consume money and dispense warmth and light.
Ok.
You felt it before when it rained in Martinez.
Ok, damn it. J'ai-tu du stock qui enlève de la du son? Pas pour l'instant. Mais est-ce que j'ai quelque chose pour en donner? Je ne pense pas. C'est quand même quelque chose de rare, celui-là. Non. C'est dans le rose. On va essayer d'avoir le plus de trucs possible de notre côté, encore une fois. La veste, la logique, qui est good. Donc on va y aller de même. J'ai peut-être plus de chances de l'avoir.
The once bright mural
Yes.
towers above
Come on,
you.
72%.
Suddenly,
Yes.
there's a sigh
Let's go.
carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it.
Jusqu'où ça va?
In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs. And then the beach below.
C'était sûr, c'était sûr.
Its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
She's down there.
Je pense qu'elle est en bas, sur ce bâtiment.
Okay. Why?
Depuis mon réveil, mais voire même avant, je ressens ces étranges bouffées de froid.
Good, good. Yes. Cold spells. So basically, your hangover is telling you she's down there.
Ok, c'est juste une intuition.
So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building.
C'est ça, la
They're
maudite
gone,
échelle.
basically.
Il y a une échelle près du panneau. Tu sais, c'est ça que je disais depuis tantôt. Je sais pas pourquoi il fallait faire absolument ça pour pouvoir y avoir accès. Il y a une échelle près du panneau. Peut-être peut-on l'utiliser pour entrer par le toit.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails. A rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. Some of the rungs are missing.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
Évaluer la situation.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground? And you're 180?
1m90, s'il te plaît, je suis un géant.
Okay, but still, the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder. Instead, astral projection. Be open-minded about this. Yeah, because falling from that height seems, well, splat. So don't do that. Just, you know.
Et si je grimpais pas et si je me téléportais à la place?
Teleportation is not a thing.
Mais j'aime pas que allez, Kim, où est passé votre esprit aventureux?
This really has nothing to do with adventure. We are dealing with basic physics here.
Ça ne coûte rien d'essayer.
Oh yes, it could hurt. A lot.
He is restraining himself from using a parental tone with
Vous avez vu Thiago escalader? Wow, on peut l'essayer un peu. La mise en place. La mise en scène. Mise en place.
The rusty ladder
la
leads
mise en
to the
scène.
rooftop.
Non, moins 1 en mise en scène. Come on! Come on! Je dois avoir quelque chose pour la mise en scène là-dedans. Plus un mise en scène. C'est quelque chose qui m'en enlève. Non. On essaie de même.
The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop.
Oh mon dieu, causez-vous les doigts, guys.
On second thought, maybe teleportation isn't a thing.
Pourquoi?
Because you're just standing there squeezing your buttocks and nothing is happening.
Pas de donnerie.
The lieutenant looks at you with that. I know you're thinking this.
Mise en scène, améliorée. Let's go, on le réessaye.
The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is...
Le faire, tout simplement.
Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
J'ai réussi, Kim, je me suis téléporté.
I just saw you climb the ladder. You just climbed it like a regular person.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear.
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring with a backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here.
Mhm. Let's go! La porte centrale a été détruite par les tirs d'artillerie. Let's go. Tout ce qu'il nous reste à faire, c'est descendre. Essayer de trouver un moyen de faire rentrer Kim. Kitsuragi, n'est-ce pas? Une carte postale. C'est une vide, ça, bâtard? Le verre est couvert de saleté, de poussière, vous pouvez à peine voir au travers. Vous devez sortir votre lampe électrique. Cet événement a pu bloquer l'accès au sous-sol, difficile de s'y faufiler. Un meuble de bureau vétuste. Il date peut-être du siècle dernier. Oublié depuis si longtemps. Cette table renversée est couverte de moisissures orange et de fourmilles de bestioles.
Two rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while.
Poussez la porte pour ouvrir la porte. Poussez pour ouvrir la porte.
The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the two metal panels slide open with...
I hope no one dangerous heard that.
Comment vous avez fait pour arriver là-dedans?
After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk. It's next to a drain pipe, possibly a storm drain. It was easy to miss before.
He's quite proud of himself.
Ça m'aurait évité de risquer de me rompre le cou.
At least now we have an exit, so let's get going. It's time to investigate these passages.
Des vieux fichiers dans le chariot, et des moments de découvert de moisissure. Document, ouais. Un ensemble d'épais panneaux de verre poussiéreux. Ok, on a eu une nouvelle habit. Dans le faisceau de la lampe, vous apercevez une fissure dans le mur. Une odeur de tissu renfermé et de la poussière, ça fait peut-être des années que personne n'a dormi ici. Ces casseroles et ces plats sont remplis de poussière et d'étoiles d'araignée. De la propagande révolutionnaire sur les lits superposés, de vieux prospectus et des brochures. C'est la même fenêtre que vous avez vue de l'extérieur. Oh, il y avait d'autres choses. Pauvre chef révolutionnaire.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary?
C'est étonnant, jette un œil.
Outside the window, another day. The beach sand soaks up the drizzling rain, growing darker and darker.
Il fallait savoir, maudit, que c'était de là qu'il fallait voir que ça aurait pu arriver. J'aurais cherché à maudit sa promenade. Mais si le tueur avait utilisé cet endroit pour se planquer.
It's a great place to hide, certainly. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages.
Kim, je ne vois pas le Whittling in Rags. La tir ne provient pas d'ici.
Indeed. No one could get a clear view. Well, at least we've been thorough. I like thorough.
The lieutenant's voice betrays a slight disappointment, which he glosses over by reasserting control. A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand, grains sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
C'est Mazov, des gauchistes naïfs se planquaient sûrement ici.
Some radical or radicals were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
Il y a longtemps, combien de temps?
Half a century?
Hi,
This
ça
was
fait vraiment
probably
longtemps.
part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing.
Il regarde tout autour de
I
lui.
think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
D'où proviennent ces caches d'armes secrètes et ces bunkers
We
secrets?
have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
J'aurais peut-être déménagé ici, l'endroit a l'air
I
confortable.
won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case.
Est-ce que le portrait pourrait être lié à la statuette de Mazov que nous avons trouvée dans la chambre de l'étudiant?
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
À votre avis, quelqu'un est-il venu ici récemment?
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Regarde la poussière. Allons-y. Il y a quelque chose dans l'air, une sorte de boudonnement normal. Le tunnel s'est effondré, vous allez devoir trouver un autre moyen de passer. Le bourdonnement s'intensifie.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost...
Lieutenant, vous ressentez quelque chose?
No, what do you mean?
D'une douleur, d'un picotement
I
étrange?
don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
Quoi? Vous ne ressentez vraiment rien?
No, but you are the sensitive one.
Quelques sous, quelques réals, n'est-ce pas? Un tuyau en béton enterré dans le sable et la poussière. Oh, attends un peu. Il y avait une... Oui. Ici. Bizarre, bizarre. Ok. J'aime ça, des genres de...
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
Explique l'ombre à côté de la machine.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
The voice coming through the whirlwind of pain is not malicious. She doesn't want to hurt you, but she has to. Doesn't wish to hurt you, not according to your ear canals. Wait, no, not even your ear canals. This is going directly into your neural pathways. No, buddy, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience, way worse than all the previous ones. Take out all the good parts of Parolino, leave all the bad parts, and make a brain bomb in a constant state of exploding. That's this. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Est-ce que vous allez me tuer moi aussi?
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm being pretty reasonable here. I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing. It's the ULAN frequency, blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
J'ai vu vos équations, ce sont les ondes Ulan.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at.
You should probably check on Kim. That's what good partners do.
Right behind you, officer.
Le lieutenant est plié en deux, il est toujours en
The
vie.
torment Lieutenant Kitsuragi is experiencing is worse than your own, but he's slowly beginning to recover.
A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
L'exerce un geste vers un objet avec un grand effort.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get an opportunity to break you loose.
Vous pouvez faire l'expérience du compresseur, vous aussi?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
Génial, mais parlons de l'homme que vous avez tué, qui a été tué. Non. Est-ce que je vais rester comme ça pour toujours?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
Comment avez-vous réussi à décoter
I
cela?
built it myself.
Elle fait un signe de tête en direction de son engin de torture.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Way beyond.
Elle utilise son rayon mortel et les représentants de la loi pris au piège dedans. C'est quoi ce satané intangible?
The pale? It's the end of the world.
Génial, mais parlons de l'homme qui a été tué.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about
S'il
it.
vous plaît, est-ce que vous pourriez éteindre ce compresseur pour que je puisse vous demander quelque chose?
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
You're looking for a deal with my mattress.
Si, madame. Oh! Oh, ça c'est weird. Oh, que ça c'était weird.
Turn this.
Le lieutenant se tient la tête en
God
commençant.
damn it.
Elle vous des visages, vous et Kim avec une soudaine compassion.
Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
Elle sort de l'ombre à contre-cœur, la douleur s'amenuise.
Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep her talking, and you'll get through this.
Oh, l'essaye.
You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
Vous êtes en état d'arrestation.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
Oh non.
Problem solving.
Murmure-t-elle.
Ma'am, put the gun down. That's not the solution to your problems. You are...
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, si bois, j'ai rien pour la rhétorique. C'est sûr qu'elle se suicide.
You should know the words to say. You've been here yourself. So why is it not coming to you?
Pourquoi est-ce que je reste mobile comme un idiot?
Because you've misread the situation from the beginning. And now her finger squeezes the trigger.
Faites une idée, faut une idée.
A smirk crosses her face as she watches you stand there, mute. Then she exhales sharply, shakes her head, and pulls the trigger. watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair.
Bon, très bien. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait maintenant?
We clean up. It may take days for processing to pick up her body. We need to move it somewhere. That tent, there.
Il y a une tente là-bas. Right. Ah, c'est frustrant ça! Tout faire ça pour en arriver puis qu'elle se suicide. De l'eau noire, c'est quoi la perte de vue? Il n'y a pas d'issue.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She was used to camping out.
Regarde à l'intérieur.
You see a rolled-up sleeping bag and personal belongings.
We should put her in the sleeping bag, so the rats don't get to her.
Ok, dépose dans le
The
assis.
lieutenant nods.
Bon.
There she lies, cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by empty cigarette packs, books, and half-read magazines. Magazines? You should look through them.
Éclairer les livres et les magazines avec votre lampe de...
Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Et jette un œil au-dessus de votre épaule, feuilletez le magazine.
Rager Monthly, Journal of Materials Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine, it's a leather notebook.
Un calepin.
You
Le
pocket
prendre.
the worn brown leather journal. She watches by. Motion.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
You.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket.
Ok.
It's made of
Examiner la
full grain
couverture.
leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name. This was important to her when it was still hers.
On va défaire la lanière.
The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled.
Inspecter l'écriture manuscrite.
The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently, perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins.
Excusez-moi. Feuilletez le livre.
It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
We could learn a lot from this.
Quel genre de logistique?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes.
Ok,
I
good.
can give this to her after we finish this.
Professionalism is his coping mechanism.
Mhm. Que représente le diagramme?
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
Ok, des trucs personnels.
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. Staff issues. Always tough on the leadership. You smell traces of betrayal.
Quand remonte l'entrée de la plus ancienne?
The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable.
Qu'a-t-elle écrit le jour de la mort de Lily?
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. You have no idea what she means. These are personal notes. Don't expect to understand all of it.
Quelle est l'entrée la plus récente? Ou inspectez à nouveau la couverture. Inspectez à nouveau la couverture.
The thick journal, bound in brown leather, is full of candor and diagrams.
Ok, non. Comme ça. Quelle est l'entrée la
The
plus...
most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
I don't think she killed the mercenary.
Non.
It looks like she might have been framed. Too bad we didn't really get to hear her side of the story.
This whole thing was a detour, and a fatal one, he thinks. Don't get emotional.
Alors, elle est morte pour rien.
She was in plenty of trouble, even without the murder charge. Still, it's a nasty business.
Alors, d'après vous, qui a tué le mercenaire?
Could have been Titus. Then again,
Il s'est interrompu pour réfléchir. Je sais pas.
either way, we need to keep an eye on him. Somewhere along the way, we might have been fed a lie or two. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling in rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
Ok. Well, ça s'est pas fini comme je pensais avec Ruby. Ça a été pas mal violent. Ah, bâtard. Ils me l'ont jamais montré quand je passe en avant à chaque fois. Je sais que j'ai envoyé ma souris dessus. Vous devez quand même revenir quand il neigera. Un sentiment étrange, je vous envoie se dissipe rapidement. Mais là, si je regarde mes quêtes, examiner l'île à la recherche de traces de balles, mais l'île, on n'y a pas accès. On dit c'est pour la femme de ménage. Le ménage, là, je dis que l'appartement est censé être vide. Ah, on va pas te voir là. Pourquoi je peux pas y aller? Ça veut. On va enlever l'outil que j'ai. Pourquoi je peux plus me déplacer rapidement? Comment j'étais à l'église? Mais voyons donc.
You're back. Good. What can I help you?
Peut-être que c'est elle qui va pouvoir nous emmener sur l'île, hein.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards.
C'est mon automotrice qu'on a passé dans la mer.
Oh. That's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea?
J'ai bu comme un trou. Une enquête officielle a été lancée par moi pour en déterminer les causes de la mort.
That's great. Until then, you should maybe start thinking about the funeral.
Non, c'est une démonstration absurde de sentimentaliste. Les objets inanimés n'ont pas d'âme.
You never know, officer. Some things might have a soul. But I get it. Rational guy like you probably has a lot on his plate anyway. So what can I do for you?
Ouais. Ah, c'est par là qu'il fallait que je descende. Démettre. Verras-tu que je passais par là juste une fois? C'était-tu ouvert ça? Oui, c'était ouvert. Il me semble que oui. Ouais, c'était ouvert. Ça me ferait que... Ça pour vrai, ça aurait pu être juste un truc qui enlève le toit, puis ça aurait été bien correct. C'est ça. On va monter pour aller chercher l'argent. Je comprends pas pourquoi j'ai pas pu me téléporter, c'est ridicule pour eux. Je vais toujours pas passer par là. Ah, ça c'est quand même drôle. Cacher les lunettes de même dans une place de même. Let's go. Il y a quelque chose au en haut, mais ça m'étonnerait bien gros. Ah ouais, non, ça sent rien là. Parfait. Il va falloir revenir à l'autre bout, veux pas. Tôt ou tard. Pour poser des petites questions à la petite madame. Ah non, c'était par en haut. C'est peut-être le dessin, il me l'indiquait pas super bien, hein. J'avais vraiment l'impression qu'il y avait une grosse bordure et qu'on pouvait pas passer par là. Bon, fait que Titus, nous revoilà.
Stop. Now, it is time.
C'est l'heure du tribunal.
Yes. And it's not going to be fun.
Et je suis censé faire quoi
Be
faire?
prepared. Wield Ruby's double-barreled pistol. What a shitty gun. But it's better than nothing.
Je suis pas sûr d'être prêt pour ce qui nous attend. Je me mettrai à main nue.
Then you'd better get ready. Whatever happens, I've got your back.
Ok. My goodness, hein. Une épée plus un gun.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning.
Oh shit, c'est pour ça qu'on pouvait pas se téléporter.
Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to talk this through. All right? Shut up. You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit fuck.
Kim, qu'est-ce qui se passe-t-il? Le lieutenant lève la main, écoute.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about this.
The Kipt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Courty.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement. Ain't that right, fellas?
He is facing overwhelmingly superior firepower, and he knows it.
Peaceful.
Rude Owen Clowen. C'est qui lui? C'est comme si la silhouette revêtue de l'armure est en train de pleurer.
Fuck, there's a third one. How did we miss something like this?
Le lieutenant désigne la silhouette casquée.
The lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life. You should consult him before getting in there.
Le gros, c'est le mercenaire qui garde l'entrée, le chef d'éruption.
If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
A sound strategy. He's the leader.
On fait quoi?
My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene.
J'ai pas équipé l'armure, bâtard. Il n'y a plus de temps à perdre, c'est.
The Mercenary Tribunal.
Arrêtez, police. Je l'avais même pas vu, lui. Ben oui, mais pas tant que ça.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
Il se lèche les lèvres en brandissant son arme devant la foule, perdant un instant l'équilibre et chancelle en
I
arrière.
think he's calmed down a bit. No, he didn't. He's about to open fire.
Non, il se calme là. Je peux lui poser.
You can't think that way now. This is serious.
Pig, fuck!
La voix de sous le casque interrompt vos pensées. Vous êtes parvenu à se redire le dernier mot. Je vois bien que vous êtes bourré. Un faux mouvement, je vous dégomme. Doucement, personne ne va crever aujourd'hui.
Oh, people are gonna die today. We're not leaving it like this. These tribals hung him up for everyone to see.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Suddenly, your fingers holding the grip of a gun that has just taken a life tingle. Go for it, it seems to say. Even if it comes to a fight, it's always a good idea to drag it out first. Get under his skin. Peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far. Start with the first idea you have, then move down from that. Please.
C'est qui ça, désigné l'homme? Je savais pas que vous étiez trois.
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer, hoe and cloven. He doesn't talk much.
All of you cunts inside out.
Le tueur?
The gunner, the raddest, the killer.
Il indique la silhouette entièrement revêtue d'une armure en céramique.
What do you think he does?
Il tue.
Smart loincloth. He fucks natives up. Soldier of the apocalypse style.
Il a le style de gun stick qu'il aurait pu pas être tiré avec. Parler du pendu. Ah ouais, let's go.
Of course.
Ah ben oui,
Nothing
voyons
bad
donc,
will
hein.
happen. Talk about his dead friend. He seems stable enough to take it.
C'est comme si j'avais fait connaissance avec votre ami mort pendant notre recueil.
Don't fucking talk to me about my brother, loincloth.
Il extirpe ses mots entre ses lèvres pincées, la main sur le pistolet.
Okay, yes. Immediate failure. Things are worse now. He's observing your every motion carefully.
La représentante du Wild Pines n'approuve pas ça du tout.
You think I care what that company cunt thinks?
Travaillez ensemble. Elle sait que vous êtes hors de contrôle, elle me l'a dit.
She's gone, you stupid fuck. Sailed off 5 minutes ago. She doesn't give a shit about you silos. Stay cool! Don't do anything stupid!
Écrit ça, ça ses hommes en retrait.
The company bitch is gone. Laylee's gone. Fuck are we still doing in this shithole?
Il regarde autour de lui, il a l'air soudainement fatigué, triste même.
Guys,
Le petit homme sort de la
I
formation.
just get in the way. I don't even have a gun.
Hold your ground. Any more of you run, I'll shoot you myself. We're doing this together.
They're afraid. All of them. Trembling reeds in the wind. They'll run, scatter soon. One by one. No, the rest will stay. They would hold their ground, even if it means dying here with you.
Écoutez, ils n'ont rien fait.
Yeah? Who did that?
Attendez, mais il faut encore un peu de temps pour tout comprendre.
Time. You had time to fuck around in that church, to run errands for your union chief. I saw you.
Time is up, loincloth. Give me a name. Now!
C'est quelqu'un d'autre qui n'est pas là maintenant.
How fucking convenient.
Il vous regarde d'un air alcoolisé, puis remet la main sur son âme. Il a été abattu à très longue distance par un sniper.
You think I'm fucking stupid, cop? What if I just shot one of your pals here, right now? How about the kid? Tell me, it's a magic fucking sniper one more time.
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead court marshal won't decide who...
He's gonna do it. He's gonna shoot her. Your mind grinds to a halt. All you can see is the revolver in the man's armored hand, swaying, pointed at her. You move your mouth like a fish gasping for air.
On était même pas là.
He pulls the trigger. A plume of smoke erupts from the muzzle.
Tabarnak.
The shot rings in your ears.
Si là, faut tout que je les manque, les lancer.
Then the Hardy Boys yell something.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
La femme se tient le flanc gauche, elle est touchée, sa chemise blanche s'imbibe d'un rouge venant de son abdomen, elle a l'aide pour respirer.
She's not. She's bleeding out. If she doesn't get help in 10 minutes, she'll die.
Fuck this!
L'homme commence à sortir quelque chose de sa poche.
Gene! Cancel Lizzie! Now!
Ouais, que la J, elle peut tout expliquer.
Who the fuck is that?
Glacia, the woman upstairs. Where is she?
She left!
Oh, wow. Regarde, qu'est-ce que vous foutez ici?
What am I doing? My fucking establishment is under fire! You know how much windows cost?
Comment ça, elle est partie?
She left! Her room's cleaned out! Right before these assholes showed up!
We should have arrested her.
Chuchote le lieutenant, les yeux toujours fixés vers le
You
mercenaire.
can feel how upset he is with himself. Just for a second. Then the fear takes over and he's back in the moment.
Hey, Bushman!
Il n'y a aucune
Your little
chance qu'on
cunt isn't
réussisse.
gonna help you out of this one.
Vous êtes tous bourrés, regardez-vous.
Yes. So what?
Yeah? So what? You should be drunk too. It's insane how long it's been since your last drink. Get one in you right now.
Le jugement, Algol est un tour que les pygmées disent là. Le jugement est affecté, vous allez le regretter.
Nah. I'm clear as day. Fucking government ordained super soldier.
Enough already! What is this? We didn't come here to fucking chat!
Interrupt me again and I will execute you on the spot, Lance Corporal.
J'ai aucune chance de faire quoi que ce soit.
International something. International law.
Ce tribunal va à l'encontre de la législation, de la législation internationale.
Look around, you livestock. We're about to butcher the lot of you. Where is your international law?
There will be ramifications, but there don't need to be. Let's go inside and discuss what our investigation has uncovered. We have important.
We're not fucking coming anywhere, Sailite.
It's a miracle no one got shot this time. Stop attempting to use your head. It won't work.
Et c'est un fail. Et je suis mort.
A small explosion expels the bullet from the chamber. With a puff of smoke, it hits the man square in the chest, producing a soft clicking sound in the armor.
Go ahead. Give it another try.
Lui tirer à nouveau dessus. Oh wow, il balance le flingue au visage.
Another soft explosion, like a fire goes off in your hand. Another soft click from the gleaming white cuirass.
They teach you to shoot the chest in Copland? Stupid fuck. Kill him.
To your right, the killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His moves are steady, but the long barrel of the rifle sways slowly. The shot rings and you stumble. Something violently tugs at your shoulder, pushing you backwards with incredible force.
Ça a bloqué, ça a bugué le truc.
A volcano of burning pain erupts from your left shoulder. The pain flows over your entire body
Je
like
crois
an
que c'est
awful
lui qui a
shock.
tiré, man.
A grim knowing rises from within. Half of your body must be gone.
God, please.
Le lieutenant sans trembler, il vise le visage blanc.
Then, two shots ring backwards, and you hear a scream. But you're too hurt to see who got hit.
Qui m'a-t-il réussi à atteindre le tir?
Blood gushes from the helmet's eye
Il l'a eu.
sockets as Rude staggers back, disoriented. The sounds coming from his helmet are not human. An unbelievable shot from the lieutenant.
Qui a hurlé?
Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gushes out of them like red geysers. Oh God, watch out. You see 2 cold eyes looking at you through all the smoke and panic, and a pistol raised, aiming at your chest, point blank. Then the man squeezes the trigger. A look of happiness. His eyes seem unnaturally bright, shining like stars. Something in the fear must distort him somehow. He is evil, and the end. Here it comes. Death.
Ça y est. Comment j'ai pu être pas chanceux de même pour vrai sur toutes les lancers de dés? Celle-là, je peux comprendre à 3%, là.
There is no time.
Ah man, 6-4 pour
Something
vrai.
inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower body is on fire, and your legs can't support you. You fall down like a rag doll.
Hey, il y a tellement de trucs genre de... de 70%, 50% que j'ai manqué, là,
The
c'est
pain
hallucinant.
is too immense to scream. It pushes the air out of your lungs. Everything goes dark. A distant blur as you recede into it.
Écoutez à travers les ténèbres et la
The
douleur.
Hardy Boys are yelling. Someone is running, jumping over you. In the background you hear gunfire shatter glass, and then a man in pain. A familiar sound. It's Titus with a splat like meat. You hear bullets rip into him. His voice, still giving orders, grows fainter.
No
A
way. Tout le monde va mourir.
He's not gonna make it.
Si j'ouvre les yeux, qu'est-ce que
You're
je fais?
bleeding out.
Ok, rien, les ténèbres, les lueurs, la science et la douleur. Une silhouette en émerge de ses genoux au-dessus de vous, une voix familière teintée d'urgence et de peur. Personne ne veut rien faire avec moi, même pas le teuf. Le loup est à nos portes, Kim. Il va dévorer le soleil. Kim, j'ai menti quand je disais que je ne pas sauver qui j'étais, j'ai tout inventé, je me souviens de tout. Il y a une ombre blanche au doux parfum. Le loup est à nos portes, Kim. Il va dévorer le soleil.
Yes, keep talking. Stay awake. Look at me.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds ever more distant. And a cold comes over you. The lieutenant, too, is somewhere far away, almost gone.
Je
When
suis mort.
suddenly, you sense something behind him. A shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising his pistol at him. The lieutenant does not see it. He's pushing down on your wound with both hands. No, you scream. Behind you, from your bloody lips. Your eyes
Au
are
moins,
full of
j'aurais pu
fear.
me manquer parti comme c'est là.
There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant turns around and fires, his body falling on yours in the course of the motion. You hear a roar of pain, a death scream. The sound disappears like someone pressed stop on the tape. The hulking figure, too, is gone. And so is Kim. And the whole world.
Sombre dans les ténèbres les plus totales.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door.
Ah, laisse-moi retourner au combat.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is over. It was lost 1,000 years ago. You have laid here forever. Keep falling deeper. Take the door.
Non.
He's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh God, no. He's not disintegrating. He's swelling up instead. Over the hours. Hurting. Moaning
Pas
in
question
his
qu'on meure là.
sleep. And rotting. And being disinfected. And smelling of drugs. And feeling saliva in his mouth. Drifting in painkillers.
Au moins, on a réussi à sauver Kim.
Crashing in
You're thirsty. Reach for the glass of water by the bed. The world is still there. Sleep some more.
hours turn to days. Soon we will get up again and go through it Again! Finally, we know what the infernal engine was outside. The clarion call. It was him. He is the infernal engine. He never stops. He only gets worse.
C'était le sniper, le tueur, au final. C'est un coup monté pour justement créer la guerre entre tout le monde.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the pain. It's nothing. You're alive. That's what matters.
Kim.
Sunrise, Parabellum.
Petit lieutenant, il est au milieu d'une pièce récemment nettoyée, avec le ventilateur formant comme un halo au-dessus de sa tête. Son visage est couvert de bleu. Aïe!
It's not ouch time yet. You just got the Drouamine pill an hour ago. Wait until it wears off.
La chambre, c'est propre.
Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire day.
Combien de temps suis-je resté évanoui?
2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Drouamine and curse. And drink water.
L'Eurovest, Kim, vous l'avez enlevé?
Yes. The joke wasn't funny anymore. I took it off.
The close proximity of death must have made the lieutenant contemplate his life choices. He's done with the jacket.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez dit? Sunrise?
Sunrise Parabellum. Sunrise, prepare for war. It's an old revolutionary saying.
C'est la guerre, aujourd'hui?
The gates of the harbor are boarded up. The streets are a little more empty. Apocalyptic violence is yet to erupt, I am relieved to say.
Il regarde par la fenêtre.
I think we may have held it off, for now. Barely.
Il ouvre la fermeture éclair de son blouson d'aviateur. Bien.
Yes, we have also completely failed. But that's okay.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
What happened? You shot the major, and successfully, a firefight ensued.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé ensuite?
As retaliation, the rifleman shot you. He hit, with his carabine. I was looking for a clear line of sight. When I found it, I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me. He did not survive.
Marque une pause.
This is not the first person to die in his place. He goes on.
Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo died before they made it to intensive care. Titus died in the hospital yesterday. Alain and the young musician, I forget his name, they are all that's left.
Titus est mort?
Yes. You were bleeding out by then. You warned me. I was able to disarm Cortana before he got the jump on me.
Thank you. Although...
I was not able to kill him, as I should have. Crenel took him. A stray bullet killed the Paul, though. And that's what happened.
Le lieutenant prend une cigarette dans la poche de son manteau et l'allume, une odeur meurt. Mais une balle perdue a tué de Paul. Voilà ce qui s'est passé. Titus est mort. Je croyais que vous fumiez qu'une fois par jour. Et le major?
He's in a private hospital across the river. Crenel claimed him from the local butcher shop where Titus died. Turns out he's insured.
There is unveiled anger in his voice.
We won't get to him anymore. The good news is he's not coming here either. I did some damage.
Je croyais que vous ne fumiez qu'une fois par
This
jour.
is the one.
Titus est mort.
Yes.
Il tire sur sa cigarette avec intensité. Combien de victimes du côté du syndicat au total?
5. Glenn, Theo, Angus, the fat one. He took a lot of bullets. And Titus. And Elizabeth too. Elizabeth Beaufort was her name. The gardener.
Elle n'a pas survécu?
No, she bled out before Everard's surgeon could help her. Everard sent his personal doctor, but a costly loss for the Union. She was being trained for leadership.
J'avais mieux présenté cette théorie à leur chef.
She never had a chance. She should not have been there in the first place. There was no way to convince them.
Et c'est...
All.
Il hoche la tête. Un désastre total.
Yes, officer. 6 people are dead. It's not a success.
+1. Ruby.
But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the beehive. The worst scenario has not materialized yet. And we are still alive. Both of us.
His smoking. His hunched back. You have it worse. But he took a real beating. That cigarette has medicinal purposes.
Quelle est l'étendue de mes blessures?
Pretty bad, officer. You've suffered 2 wounds. The first is below your shoulder. The bullet passed through your shoulder blade, luckily missing your lung and heart. The second shot hit you in the thigh, the left quadriceps. No major arteries were nicked, but the bullet had to be removed. Bacterial infection was treated with mercurochrome.
Est-ce que je peux marcher?
We will see.
Quelqu'un de mon poste est venu voir?
No.
A man and a woman sit in the front seat of an armored motor carriage. The woman is driving. The man lights a cigarette. Jean-Vic Mayer is his name. The asphalt vanishes under the wheels of the machine. Ahead, harbor cranes rise to the sky. Back to that shithole, he says.
N'est-ce pas
I
étrange?
called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the site.
Bizarre, vous n'en avez pas vu, n'est-ce pas?
I'm sure they're worried about you.
Alors, si c'est pas mon poste, qui m'a soigné?
I did.
Merci.
No need.
Des blessures?
Not very. I have a concussion from the major beating me with the butt of his gun. I tried to not move too much. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Thank you. I did not see him coming. Stupid of me.
Ok. On va être capable de celui.
Easy now.
Les lunettes se dédoublent à nouveau sous vos yeux, une nuance arrangée de douleur.
You can take it. Just don't lean on that leg of yours too heavily.
How are you?
Mes choses disco sont derrière moi.
Your disco days should have been done quite a while back, Lieutenant Efrater.
Que se passe-t-il actuellement, Kim?
I honestly don't know.
Parfait, parce que moi, je le sais.
Do you? Because we can't talk to Everhart. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now. And Joyce has left too.
Joyce est partie?
Yes, she left yesterday morning. To meet the board of Wild Pines. Oh, that is what I've heard. There's a pin somewhere in the machine that keeps Connell from sending in a death squad.
Il garde par la fenêtre.
Maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her hand. Either way, Ruby's gone. And Classio too. We really should have arrested her, you know?
Attendez, vous avez vérifié? Elle est vraiment...
Guard confirmed she left 20 minutes prior to the tribunal showing up.
Qui l'a fait alors, Kim? Qui a tué le pentu?
I don't know. I think the theory you presented, it's someone else outside our circle of suspects, was right. It better be. Everyone within the circle is either dead or gone. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect.
Les putains d'empreintes.
Yes. God curse the footprints. Not solving the case for us. Au diable.
Il y a encore 28% de chance que le tir soit venu de loin.
We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this. What else?
Une balle ancienne d'un Bell McGrath 4.46 mm, c'est difficile d'en trouver un. C'est si difficile que ça?
It's extremely easy. There are thousands lying around. We found one. All completely unusable. It's precisely how easy it is to find one that makes the bullet useless.
Le putain de muguet, Kim. Les fleurs.
What?
Sortir et montrer la fleur séchée alors qu'elle tombe en morceaux. Celle-là, vous vous souvenez?
Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case. You don't have to keep everything.
Il y a tous ces vieux bunkers et caches d'armes aux alentours de l'air de... C'est facile, nous devons localiser le communiste, non?
We could find thousands more if we wanted. All of Revachol is full of them.
But they seemed so mysterious.
Je ne vais rien dire alors.
There's a little pause. He says nothing as well.
Vous savez ce que je pense de résoudre des crimes?
He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
Résoudre des crimes, c'est pas dur.
Really? Because to me, it seems solving crimes is hard.
That concussion must be making him dizzy.
Vous n'êtes pas prêt à abandonner, n'est-ce pas?
No. Are you ready to limp?
Je suis prêt.
Good. Where do you want to limp to?
A gust of wind blows in from the bay. The duraluminum box around you vibrates imperceptibly. A familiar cold, a red thread on the roof upstairs. Taut, plucked like a string by the gust.
On devrait vérifier la chambre de Clash G à l'étage.
Why not?
Il était sa cigarette sur la semelle de sa botte.
Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through. I don't know. I can't think of anything better.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Génial.
So cool.
D'où vient-elle?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
C'est ça, Netflix Superstar.
What are you, deaf? They're perfect, like rock star politician and drug addict teacher. Embrace the superstardom you've worked so hard to establish.
C'est mon portrait tout caché, j'ai fort chalement ma légende ces derniers temps.
Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Baye, badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera.
Ça tourne.
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
Moi, fuck up, parce que je suis con pareil. Ah, il va toujours me faire un mal de chien. Peut-être éviter de courir. Ah, c'est parfait. On dirait que quelqu'un a laissé quelque chose sur la table. Oh.
Next to the stack of bills, you see a note, a few lines jotted down in large, uneven handwriting, just as the writer was about to rush out the door. I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift.
Une personne se tourne vers l'escalier avec méfiance à la recherche de signes indiquant une autre présence dans l'ombre. C'est quoi ce cadeau?
I am not drawing my gun, yet, but I don't like gifts.
Just don't walk into another radio trap.
Il semble qu'elle soit partie
It's
d'alors.
hardly surprising.
Vous savez ce qu'on va faire? On aurait dû faire ça depuis le début. Mettre ça en dessous. N'est-ce pas? Un fil rouge en nylon, il mène à l'extérieur de la chambre jusque sur le toit.
You see the same two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman, only now a red thread bisects the room, pointing from the antenna outside to the cupboard on the wall.
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
Ok, le lieutenant touche du doigt le fil bien tendu, il rebondit
A
instantanément.
ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth to the roof outside, A prime, to then widen into a radius of locations in Martinez, B prime, B double prime, and B triple prime.
On mène le fil.
It suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof, B triple prime, the island in the bay.
C'est la seule place qu'on pouvait pas aller. Est-ce qu'elle essaie de nous dire que le tir vient de l'îlot?
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point.
Comment a-t-elle fait pour reconstituer
She
ça?
was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass. It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her?
C'est sa façon à elle de se faire pardonner.
I find that hard to believe. But at this point, what difference does it make?
C'est aussi le seul point d'origine que nous n'avons pas encore éliminé.
So it is.
For a second he seems tired.
Je crois qu'il va falloir aller sur l'île. Oh, le vent s'introduit par la fenêtre. Le lieutenant soupire à la vue de la distance qui vous sépare de
He
l'île.
is trying to justify it to himself.
Ok, mais il faut qu'on y aille sur cette putain d'île.
Okay, let's go to the fucking island.
Il s'est interrompu une seconde pour rassembler ses esprits.
How do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone.
Lillian Carter, la relèveuse de filet, elle goudronne son bateau.
Ah, yes, of course. The village. Let's go.
J'espère qu'on peut se téléporter à l'autre bout. Pas le goût de remarcher jusqu'à l'autre bout. Ah non, mais là! Mon gun! Damn it! Je viens de pas. Ah, ça c'est frustrant. J'aurais pas mon gun. Et je sais pas c'est qui la petite vieille. Tout ça à cause de la... Ah. Un jour, je serai de retour. Près de...
The graffito has been painted over the
What?
traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil.
On dirait bien que Cindy la cabocharde a finalement trouvé les mots pour son chef-d'œuvre.
The lieutenant crouches, touching the fuel oil with his finger.
Looks like it, yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday.
Ça sent le mazout.
And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable?
Acculé, lieutenant.
The fuel oil catches fire immediately with an ominous hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the letters. Black smoke rises from the burning message. What if the words are not directed at the people of Martinez, or even the coalition aerostatics above the city? They're meant for something above even those.
Disco
The
Elysium!
lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames and nods silently. Then the fire falters. The flames warmed him too. Not at all in a bad way.
Let's go to that island.
Slowly, the flames subside, the fuel burning out. The air still smells of mazout and springtime.
Oui, on peut se téléporter. Yes, sir. Parlez-moi de ça. Est-ce qu'elle est là?
Officer, what happened? You're wounded. Why are you wounded? You look terrible.
She sounds almost disappointed with you, reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee.
Je voulais vous parler d'autre chose de votre bateau.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
Moi, se tirer dans la poitrine.
That's nothing to brag about, officer.
It's not serious. He'll be okay.
You feel the ligament move
Mais
on
voilà.
your left shoulder,
Une question.
and a small
Of course. Can I help you with something?
Nous devons nous rendre sur cette île.
That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead.
2 jours de beau temps. Je viens juste d'avoir une infection bactérienne. Qu'est-ce qui se trouve sur cette île? Il n'y a rien, juste des ruines de fortifications qui ont été construites pour les communards. C'était un canon anti-aérien, je crois. Lors du débarquement, il a été réduit en miettes par les bombardements. Moi-même, je ne suis jamais allé sur l'île. Et je me suis toujours tenu à l'écart.
Who has been there?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know. My mother told me.
Eh?
Hundreds, maybe thousands even. The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do. On barges. I tell them not to, but they bring back old bullet casings and such.
Quel enfant.
The twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go?
Be my guest. They have a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do.
Ok. Est-ce qu'on peut emprunter votre bateau?
If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull, I just got it nice and yellow, and no drinking on the boat, and no joyriding either.
Ok.
Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official police business.
Aye.
La pauvre. Ok, c'est tout en écoutant attentivement. Et si je veux lancer sur...
The crow's feet disappear from
Merci.
the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you.
Merci, on utilisera votre skiff pour s'y rendre.
Please be conservative with the fuel,
À
will
plus
you?
tard. On va aller parler avec les 2 kids. Et c'est direction l'île.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
Ok les enfants, vous êtes allés sur cette île, pas vrai?
That iron.
Ok, oui, celle-ci. J'ai besoin de savoir qui c'est qui s'y trouve.
That's, nothing. It's just a seafort and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great. And we make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. gather the sticks for the fire and bullets. Or not real bullets, empty bullets.
De quoi tu veux parler alors?
They're lights. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out.
Vous êtes en train de me dire que quelqu'un vit sur l'île?
No.
Et pour le garçon, c'est quoi la tête?
Yes.
Oh.
Let's go with yes.
Ok. Pourquoi vous l'appelez le monsieur du feu?
Because
Le garçon s'arrête pour réfléchir.
he asks to put the fire out.
Et pourquoi il vous a demandé d'éteindre le feu?
I don't know. He doesn't like it. He don't like people to be there. You shouldn't go. Yes.
Ok. Vous parliez de lumière.
I don't know.
Did you mean there are electrical lights?
Désigner des lampadaires.
Yes.
Ok. Y a-t-il autre chose que vous pouvez me raconter sur ce monsieur? Quel âge a-t-il? Est-ce qu'il vit sur l'île?
No, he doesn't live there. I don't think. No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes.
Anything else? What does this guy look like?
I don't know.
Répondit-il presque à l'unisson. Comment ça?
We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there.
Votre père allait sur cette île aussi, non?
Our father killed himself.
Oh.
Don't say that, he didn't.
On va lui donner un coup de doigt. De poing, un coup de doigt. Pourquoi je dis ça? Un coup de poing, les yeux du petit garçon se remplissent de larmes.
A dull pain flashes through your mind.
Votre père ne s'est pas suicidé.
I don't know.
Le garçon qui vient de parler n'en a pas l'air très certain. Il regarde autour de lui.
Doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. Father isn't the fire guy.
C'est tout ce que vous savez? Vous pouvez rien me dire de plus sur cette île? Le répond le petit garçon en se frottant les yeux. Il est clair qu'il n'a nullement l'intention de finir sa phrase.
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
C'est toutes des affaires que j'aurais eu l'intention de faire si j'avais eu le temps de le faire. C'est frustrant.
A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you.
Oh oui, je veux partir
Are
de
you
suite.
sure you want? Have you made all the necessary preparations? Clothes. Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
C'est le bateau, il va rendre sur l'île. Ok, m'occupez-vous du moteur, je vais tenir le magnétophore.
What?
Comment ça, quoi? Sinon, comment voulez-vous qu'on fasse péter le son de l'arme des chansons en chemin?
Fine. Let's blast Sad FM, then.
Let's go! On y va. Sur l'île, on se rend. Le gars qui est blessé, qui se tient sur sa jambe, qui est détruite en avant avec le magnétophore pour faire de la musique. Come on! Je m'attendais pas à ça pantoute, guys. Je voulais tellement y aller depuis longtemps sur cette maudite île-là. Non seulement ça, mais même Ruby, là, il y a des places que j'étais comme, pourquoi? J'aurais dû avoir accès plus tôt, non? Ça me gosse un peu le blocage, c'est trouver des indices ou demander au mur. Le nombre de fois que j'ai essayé d'aller en dessous en dessous de la promenade, là. Pour vrai, ça aurait pu beaucoup plus mal sonner que ça, là. On aurait pu tout crever durant la fusillade. Mais je pense qu'on aurait pu tout être mieux en place. Tous mes rôles n'avaient pas failli à ce point-là, c'est incroyable. C'est juste incroyable. C'est complètement incroyable. On va accélérer un peu le bateau. On n'est pas proche d'être rendu à l'île, guys. C'est lui qui le contrôle, fait que je peux pas rien faire malheureusement. Mais sérieux, l'église a l'air de tenir à peine. Quand tu regardes ça. C'est la même affaire, il y a des échelles. J'aurais bien voulu monter, moi, pour aller voir aussi le clocher de l'église, mais pas moyen d'y aller. Enlevez le gun, on va voir ce que ça va donner. L'épée sert absolument à rien, t'es moussé bien raide, mais c'est pas grave. Pensez-vous vraiment que c'est... Quel du mazout, on dirait, un liquide quelconque dans la baie. Pensez-vous vraiment que c'est le gars qui est sur l'île qui a tiré? J'ai tellement mes soupçons, moi, que c'est juste le dude qui se faisait appeler le tueur, qu'on ne saura jamais. Ils ont déjà dit qu'il y avait des balles vides qu'ils ont joué avec, fait que clairement que ça venait du tir. On va souhaiter que c'est pas une île énorme. Faut pas que ce soit une île énorme parce que... On est là juste pour la dernière étape, là. Ou pas.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence. There is very little wind here today. The ghost is standing still. You look at your arms, then the cliffs above you. Let's go.
Un pont de fortune, les bombes ont été assez puissantes pour briser les fondations. C'est frustrant pour eux. Hein? Interroger le petit enqueur, faut du muguet. Oh mon dieu, j'ai jamais pensé à ça. Ça sert à rien, mais c'est pas grave, c'est juste drôle. Une chaîne rouillée s'enfonce dans l'océan. Les escaliers ont l'air vieux, les pieds des soldats qui l'ont parcouru bien longtemps. Tension inflammable. Du mazout s'est déversé du baril, noir et tout visqueux. C'est bien ce que je pensais tantôt quand je vous ai dit que j'avais l'impression que c'était du mazout. L'air chaud provient de l'intérieur du bâtiment, il fait plus chaud dedans que dehors. Sur le baril, il est écrit MCI, vous apercevez une étoile parsemée de petites taches. Impossible de grimper là-haut, il n'y a plus d'escalier. Et la seule place qu'on peut faire, c'est rentrer dans le bâtiment. Fait que, on va s'équiper avant tout ça. Autrefois, il y a un emplacement pour des armes. Attention, ces escaliers se sont découlés. Clairement, quelqu'un qui vit ici.
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right.
Ok, je vous laisse 2 petites minutes. Je vais juste aller me prendre une nouvelle bouteille d'eau. Je reviens. Ça passe super long. Je vais partir avec une petite publicité pendant ce temps-là. Voilà. Ok. I'm back.
The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Merci du carburant dans le réservoir.
The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch. The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
Où vont ces câbles?
Downstairs, somewhere?
Tapez sur le
The tank is far from full, but there should be enough inside to keep it going for a day.
Les livres, la plupart sont des romans fantastiques ou de fiction historique. Les plats tachés de sauce et le reste descendu, la cuisine de survivants.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft-cover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out caracal blanket.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
Récemment, mais plus précisément.
You force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
Oh, c'est pas le moment de se reposer.
Yes, anytime. If you need a rest later, it's okay by me.
You don't have to be a hero.
Je percevais les bougies enfoncées dans un télémètre cassé. Un drap de lit mangé au mythe empêche le vent d'entrer.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized.
Les passes au crible.
Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures, among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories. You find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp, light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Ok. Bon, désolé. On va essayer la conceptualisation avec les systèmes. On va finir par l'en trouver. Il me semble que j'en avais pas gros. Je les ai peut-être toutes déjà. Peut-être avoir d'autres choses pour la conceptualisation. Là. Effectivement, pas d'autres choses. Ok.
Soft covers, serialized fantastique. Not that you can tell. This is a digest of someone who's dead bored.
Wow.
Most of it is for entertainment purposes. Fittingly right next to the radiola on the floor. You do feel there's something you're not getting here, though. Oh well.
Okay, well. Bon, coordination visuotactile. Là, les faunes, tu sais, si on regarde ce que j'ai en faune, j'ai les camps. J'ai... ça. J'ai ça qui va en dessous. J'ai... non, c'est pas celui-là. J'en avais un autre du faune. Pas rien d'autre du fond? Je commence à en avoir sur un méchant temps, là. Non, non, les souliers du fond, c'est l'autre qui les avait, c'est vrai. Bon, ben, je sais pas. Tant pis. Échappe pour récupérer le sac militaire. C'est. Let's go, ça va tout ensemble. Cette grosse porte anti-explosion doit peser plus de 10 tonnes, des plaques de rouille j'en détache.
You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one, a heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small.
Ok. Comment ça s'ouvre?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open.
Puis regarde la porte, puis sa grande sœur, puis la serrure.
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
Vous avez raison, on va ouvrir la grande. Vous voyez les commandes quelque part?
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
Non, ok. Ici. Je pensais que c'était une porte en bas, mais c'est la porte qui mène dehors. Ah, fallait que je passe par en dessous? Oh well. Cette trappe est bloquée. Quelque chose sur la marche.
Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
C'est quoi ça?
The console of an antique computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out, they terminate here.
Est-ce que cette porte pour ouvrir la... Est-ce que cette console pourrait ouvrir la porte anti-explosion?
I think, yes. Let's see.
Tournez.
That one. The emergency open.
Okay.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
Good. Oh shit, 3 étapes pour ouvrir cette porte-là. Comme un métal, ça?
A sudden wave of anxiety makes your skin crawl.
After you.
Allons-y. On va aller par là en premier. Ça mène dehors. Compresseur. Ok. Peut-être d'explorer dehors avant de faire quoi que ce soit d'autre. Là, le corner de la grosse, le trait est bloqué, la rue est allongée, blablabla, il a rongé ce qui reste de la chaîne. La douleur logée dans votre pelvis vous fait grincer des dents, ensuite vous continuez. Celui-là, je le fais courir pas mal. L'intérieur de la forteresse, vous distinguez la zone de la porte anti-explosion. Du gaz.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like 2 eyes in the wall.
Siège de meurtrière, ouais.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
Examinez le
A
matelas.
single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns.
A good place to hide. Cozy. Relatively safe from the rain.
Examinez le mur.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Touchez d'abord le béton.
Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
Regarde à travers le trou dans le béton.
The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation. a tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar.
À gauche.
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
À droite.
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area.
Et entre les deux.
The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop. Sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
L'enfoiré.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
Oui, il y a un angle entre le numéro 33A et 10, et je vois le toit.
I can see it. Through the scope of a rifle. The shooter would be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure. I think we have it. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Enfin.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
Vous avez raison.
He looks north, over the fortification, then at the mattress. He's conflicted for a second. There's guilt there. It takes him a moment to rationalize it away.
Est-ce qu'il y a le tireur toujours ici?
Where?
Sur cette île?
He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more. He feels uncomfortable suddenly.
We should move now.
Une carte érodée indiquant les coordonnées dans la belle rébâcheuse. Une armoire à pharmacie récemment approvisionné notre voie mine. Vous sentez que quand vous épie, quelqu'un vous observe, mais vous ne savez d'où. Commencer doucement, c'est peut-être dangereux. Pas besoin de la lampe. Un canot pneumatique, il est dégonflé et percé. Les petites fleurs blanches fleurissent tout autour de vous.
An old man, wearing tracksuit trousers, leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
Vous êtes le monsieur du feu?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Est-ce que vous avez récemment demandé à 2 gamins d'éteindre leur feu? 2 jumeaux?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position sounds like a hiding place.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
Vous avez fait fermer la porte anti-explosion?
I did. And you opened it. How?
J'ai alimenté le générateur, ensuite je me suis servi de la console.
I should have burned that console down.
Comment vous avez su que je venais?
Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
C'était pas du rock'n'roll, c'était l'arme et les chansons.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic, counter-revolutionary dirges. Sadness is a mental illness. A weapon of the bourgeoisie.
Oh boy.
The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate, hip gyrating, mental illness music.
C'est un beau fusil que vous avez là?
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
C'est une belle McGrath.
It's a Triangon 446.
A Samurai rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Signal commune. Military aid.
Il reste son arme. La commune de Signal.
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the board.
Monsieur, je vais vous demander. Je suis de la police. Gardez l'arme si ça vous chante, mais pas juste.
No.
Le lieutenant pointe directement son arme sur la tête du vieil homme et s'exclame.
Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
Ok, le vieil homme pose négligiblement ce fusil à terre et se contente de l'observer.
Like an amputated limb in the sand.
Ramasser l'arme posée sur le sol.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire.
L'examiner plus en détail.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangon, 4.46mm, made in Signal.
Il tire des balles chemisées de 4.46 mm.
The right type and the right calibre.
Confirme le lieutenant.
He's liking this.
C'est bien le modèle indiqué, un triangle fabriqué par Signal.
No one said it has to be a Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a triangle to...
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanty Shanty. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
Lâchez l'arme.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly.
Qui êtes-vous?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross. Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
Son regard vide se porte de nouveau sur le roseau.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
Depuis combien de temps est-ce que vous êtes sur l'île?
43 years. No. I've been on other islands too.
Okay.
I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
Donc vous êtes caché pendant 43 ans.
43 years and 10 months.
Vous avez tenu bon.
It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where it's morning, on Rue de Saint-Gislain, people are walking. The gas street lights have already been switched off. Further inland, in Jamrock, the streets come alive with workers. Men, women, children rushing. Muddy avenue after muddy avenue. The temperature is rising. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41. 2 police officers step out of the whirling in rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed across the plaza mosaic. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Always waiting.
Le vieil homme détourne le regard du littoral et se tourne vers vous. Qu'est-ce que vous attendiez?
For her to return.
Qui ça?
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution.
Ok. Je viens de là-bas. Je peux vous assurer que ce n'est pas ce que les gens ont en tête.
I am not a fool. I know. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind. The historic opportunity for our revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez fait au juste?
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the flame?
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left of the world, of our dreams.
C'est quoi cet endroit, cette île?
It's not an island, what? It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
Quelle était sa fonction?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing. Against the whole world.
Vous parlez du débarquement, de la reconquête de Revachol.
Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the radio they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
Déjà, je fais pas partie de cette engeance, la coalition militaire. Un sauveur bien décidé à mettre un terme à cette folie. Une bande d'assassins, aucun doute là-dessus. Je fais pas partie de cette engeance.
Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow?
La coalition militaire.
Iblis.
Iblis.
The black-eyed angel.
Comment avez-vous fait pour survivre aussi longtemps?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
Ok. C'est un choix de vie. Vous pourrez bosser à votre compte, façonner le système selon vos envies.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetables, supplies. It's the life of a dog.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die.
On le saurait sur les ennemis sur sa bouche.
Medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
You also have Druamine.
Nous avons le Druamine et d'autres antidouleurs à base d'opiacés. Vous devez certainement ressentir des vives douleurs.
I have been running out of that stuff.
Une lueur soudaine éclaire ses yeux. Il fait claquer ses lèvres sèches.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
Vous aimez la Druamine, pas vrai?
It's the little joys.
Un sourire s'éclaircit de ses dessins sur son visage.
A sunshiny day. Morphine.
Il ne faut pas prendre cette situation à la légère. Vous avez besoin d'être examiné, nous pouvons nous en occuper.
There's nothing to look over. The triage
Il veut rien
is in,
savoir.
and it's black. Administer morphine. Moribund.
Comment est-ce que vous avez fait pour supporter tout ça psychologiquement?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of... I don't even know what. Inferno?
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
Il baisse le regard, le visage brûlé par le soleil et le vent. Une grimace de douleur se cache quelque part.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
Vous avez dit que vous capitulez sans condition.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
Malgré les apparences, j'ai bien l'intention de me transformer la MCR en unité révolutionnaire masochiste. Masochiste, pas masochiste. Nous sommes là pour faire respecter la loi. On empêche ces bêtes sauvages de s'entretuer.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti communiste dans ce land. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
J'ai encore une question sérieuse à vous poser.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
Vous êtes servi de ces armes à quelle occasion?
I've used it for killing people.
Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
Désolé. Vous êtes en train de me dire que vous avez tué des gens quand les combats sont finis. Est-ce que vous êtes servi de cette arme pour abattre le colonel de l'entreprise? Discrété criminel, je sais que vous mourrez d'envie de me dire, avez-vous tué quelqu'un à l'aide de cette arme au cours des 2 dernières semaines?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
Vous êtes en train de me dire que vous avez tué des gens quand les combats ont pris fin?
What did I just say?
Continue de secouer la tête. Son geste est soudainement erratique. Il retire quelque chose dans son œil.
Oh no, you were wrong. Don't listen to your hands for God's sake. You're too close.
Est-ce que vous vous êtes servi de cette arme pour abattre un colonel de l'entreprise de sécurité criminelle?
The who now?
Penche la tête en posant la paume sur son oreille. Le fasciste appartenant à un escadron de la mort qui s'est pris une balle dans la bouche la nuit du 4 mars. Un homme magnifique qui m'est bâti envoyé par une... Non... Le fasciste.
Oh yes, that one.
Il lève les yeux vers et
Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol.
Faut jeter un coup en mode salive au pied du mur.
I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
Tear into him. Pile it on him. Everything you got on him. The more, the better. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
Vous êtes communiste. J'ai parlé au pendu, il m'a révélé. Quel est le détail qui m'échappe quand il a tête? Bon, je vous lâche la grappe. Leur fond fait une analyse balistique. Le tir provient de cette
I
île.
saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
Le voix Dieu, Nazad aussi.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Droz. Too long. You need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
On trouverait pas de vue plus dégagée sur cette fenêtre dans tout Martinez.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Nouveau tressautement, puis un autre à l'œil droit.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
Peu importe ce que vous avez, que vous collaboriez ou non, j'ai ceci.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that, jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons?
Laissez échapper un peu tiré même fois.
Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Arrêtez de changer de sujet, nous avons l'arme du crime.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Il la ferme, nous avons l'arme du crime.
Good.
Le lieutenant sort son calepin, il trace un trait unique.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
Le vieil homme n'en dit pas plus. À nouveau, son regard se perd dans les roseaux et un tressautement parcourt son visage.
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
Vous êtes communiste. J'ai parlé au pendu, il m'a révélé que le communiste l'avait tué.
Stupid twat.
Il calme.
The lieutenant looks at you with not this, he seems to say. Anything but this.
Mettez ça sur le compte d'institution. S'il avait pu parler, il aurait dit que c'est la communiste là.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism. It reeks of crypto-fascism. The parasite class use intuition to justify their rank in life. It's all just palmistry and magic, earl creatures. Your brain is rotting from the radio waves.
Il lève les yeux en l'air puis se tourne vers Kim.
He does not answer the provocation. It does not look like he thinks this approach worked. Yeah, this just did nothing. But still, somehow you knew it was a communist. Perhaps you suspected it before you took the case.
Mais ça m'a pas aidé.
Was it supposed to?
Je vais essayer de creuser la question.
The inland sea is dark, vast, and on the surface, meaningless.
Se tourne à nouveau vers lui.
Standing there, slack-jawed, brain festering.
Il y a le détail qui m'échappe.
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Ah, mais oui.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up.
Je suis 5 sur 5. Merci, madame. C'est ton caboche. Aye, c'est bien urbain.
You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul. Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
Il y avait du muguet devant la fenêtre de la victime.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly, nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
Les jeunes femmes du nom de Clash G, ça vous dit quelque chose? Non, on les trouve pas ailleurs à Martinez, c'est pleure seulement ici.
They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
Oh, mal lui parcourt le visage. Les jeunes femmes du nom de Clash G, ça vous dit quelque chose? Ses fleurs séchées se trouvaient devant sa fenêtre.
Class G.
Vous les connaissiez, n'est-ce pas? Ils étaient très intimes, la victime et elle. Le mercenaire.
With the victim.
Ils ont les yeux de la blancheur conquérante du champ de fleurs et gardent le silence, un trait sûrement avec sa mâchoire. Au bas, vous pouvez me dire de quelle marque il s'agit?
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa.
Il observe ses chaussures et course couvert de
Some
boue.
shit.
Show me the souls, please, Mr. Torres.
Fucking imbecile.
Le vieil homme étire sa jambe, les semelles de ses vieilles chaussures usées arborent des stries en spirale noire et blanche.
The maker is called Sensory. You see their V-shaped logo, but can't make out the size.
The size fits, but not the soul.
Les chaussures n'ont aucune importance. Ah! Je peux rien faire.
Simpler? No.
Non! 8
This
sur
is
9!
another loose thread you will never connect.
Ces putains d'empreintes sont partout, comme je les haïs.
The lieutenant raises his brow. What are you doing? He's thinking. We all... Not now. Stop yourself.
People change shoes, detective. It was you. You were there, weren't you? Crawling and whirling in rags. What were you doing? Some kind of reconnaissance? Preparing the scene? Listening in on her?
Trying to rack your brains. You're desperate to report something back to your masters. They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
C'était aussi un soldat, c'était un homme.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
Vous l'avez tué?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
C'est en 50 points, c'est tout juste si la haine ne lui tire pas une larme.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
I had them in my sights, both of them, him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
Oh, il affiche le sourire, oh my god.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
There, a hot flash of rage almost carries the smile away. Some dark peace.
Et ensuite?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own.
Tout ça pour ça.
And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Le lieutenant se contente de l'observer brièvement avant de rompre le silence.
Yes.
What the
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
Le lieutenant s'en s'occupait avec une remarquable lenteur.
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
Il hausse les épaules puis se lèche les lèvres.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Pourquoi est-ce que vous observiez la nuit?
I'm always looking.
Il incline la tête sur le côté puis tourne son regard vers la ville. Un autre tressautement moins violent lui traverse le visage.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Vous appuyez sur la gâchette?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
Commence par lui demander quand il l'a vu pour la première fois. Quand est-ce que vous avez vu le défunt pour la première fois?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
La vieille sorcière africaine?
Wrinkled up whore.
Ok, c'est quoi cette fixette pour les putes et les pédastres? Je croyais que vous étiez communiste.
Black sexual morals are a bourgeois ploy. As to pederasty, the party legalized it in 04. My party, not your liberal masters.
Crache encore sur les braises mûrantes.
So don't you sermonize me, you racist shithole. It's still bourgeois when the bourgeois does it, fiddling with their sexual organs.
Some strange glandular process takes place in him at the thought, like yeast rising. And anger too, in addition to loneliness.
Mais lieutenant tous. Revenons à nos moutons. Donc la victime arrive peu de temps après elle.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mesk phalangs weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
Les plus très forts.
Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst ones, if I had a bullet to spare. I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Mundi with their families and polyester clothes.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a particulièrement déplu la nuit du mur?
Them fucking. I didn't like that.
Si je comprends bien, c'était de la jalousie.
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself, drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
Her body sweating from the drugs, slick from cerebral hemorrhage. This man has seen past her, like you did, and now he longs to see her covered in blood, to punish her.
Vous l'observiez depuis combien de temps?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
Il était magnifique.
That, too.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on right there. She needed it just to move.
D'après vous, qu'est-ce qu'elle a essayé de cacher?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
Une sorte de récipient caché sur la côte. Vous y avez jeté un œil?
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to film. Oh, I mean...
C'est noté. Vous avez continué à l'observer ensuite?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
Comment avez-vous fait pour voir tout ça? Les bleus, les coups?
I'm not blind, am I?
Vous avez tué son amant pour la punir?
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
Ce coup la tête est fixée, semble.
While he stands here and rots.
J'avais son descendant, moi aussi.
You're delusional. There's nothing to see in the soul of the bourgeois woman. It's the same as the surface. Sick hedonism and desperation.
Je vois les choses différemment.
No one gives a shit what you think. You and your cronies kill 10 working-class men a day. I've heard the statistics on Channel 8.
Vous éprouviez des sentiments pour cette femme.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough. Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
Il y en a eu d'autres?
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
C'est pour ça que vous avez laissé les fleurs sécher devant sa fenêtre?
No,
Il secoue la tête à nouveau comme un tournesol sur une... Pourquoi alors?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
C'était quand?
The day after I killed him.
Il voulait apporter du muguet.
Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
Vous vouliez la consoler?
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
Il s'essuie.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes. One more down.
Vous l'essayez, je sais pas.
It quickly comes to you.
Oh! Vous l'avez jamais vu à travers la fenêtre, sur un toit?
Mm-hmm.
Répond-il en faisant claquer ses
Bending
lèvres.
like a bow against the glass.
Courbé comme un arc contre la vitre. Vous avez emprunté le passage secret derrière le Rolling Rags. Vous y avez laissé vos empreintes après avoir changé de chaussures.
I've been through all of Martinez, every nook and cranny.
J'ai connu la ville dans ce monde d'accueil. Celui-là aussi, donc.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
Il secoue encore la tête.
You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in the hostel now after a good wash. They all think I'm an antisocial, a vagrant. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty then.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
Okay.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the union box window.
One more thing. The flowers, Mr. Dross. The dried flowers that were on the roof.
What about them?
Vous avez laissé le muguet devant sa fenêtre?
I did. I shouldn't have. It was a mistake.
Une secousse parcourt sa joue droite. Pourquoi?
I was there one night and she was crying like a child in the corner. The day after. Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do. Maybe. I told you. I have holes.
A sudden pang.
If you can.
In the silence. One more down.
Le fétichin, vous n'en avez pas après lui, mais après elle.
Her.
Il répète ce mot en fixant le tas de cendres, puis le roseau, le coin de son œil tressaut.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
Elle s'est enfuie, mais elle nous a conduits ici. Elle a découvert que quelqu'un l'épiait depuis le fort.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew. She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, snow falls on 40-story towers. Above them, Lausanne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the snowy sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, fading from your mind's eye. Across the water, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, made of grey cinder block houses with Eternite roofs, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. He's there, doing what exactly I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heidelstein is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. Where? His voice trails off as the 3 walk down the jetty. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification like a rotten tooth rising out of the water. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good for this.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
You could get more out of him. He likes talking. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
Il y a autre chose qui vous a déplu?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
Detest pushes the cobwebs out of his eyes. Pushes the melancholy aside. He relishes it.
Vous pouvez être plus précis?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
Comment ça?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins. In their lorries.
Il indique le continent d'un geste de la main.
Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Claire?
Yes. The fly larva in his container.
Mouche à merde.
He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class. Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. Intense, like animals. Like those boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
Il continue de secouer la tête, l'air abattu, en pensant au spectacle qu'il a raté, c'est tout.
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon or Quayamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frisell is now dead. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores...
Sa phrase est un charabia incompréhensible, donc vous ne saisissez aucun mot.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. What was that about? Steroids? It piqued your interest.
Vous avez dit que le syndicat est social-démocrate et que Mr. Clare est un faux social-démocrate.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Qui vous a déçu? Everard Clare?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
C'est pas Everard qui dirige le syndicat, ça doit être son nom de père.
That mobster toad couldn't run a shithouse. He has no political education.
Non, c'est ça je pensais.
His twin, Edgar Clare, that one's been to one of those East Revachol universities. He talks a big game about uprising and alienation and so on.
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed.
Nous ne sommes pas les premiers citadins que vous rencontrez, n'est-ce pas?
You can't live alone.
Il arrête de trifouiller les cendres et se contente de se couvrir la
The
tête.
Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
Toutes tes cartes et essaie de t'amener avant de lui donner les coups de gorge. Vous avez approché?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
Il indique le chemin qui mène à la tour.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
C'était quand?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
De quoi est-ce que vous avez parlé?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzov. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzov. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
Il tolère votre présence ici.
Let me be here. The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
Mr. Gross, est-ce que vous avez tué le mercenaire de Crenel pour le compte des frères Clare dans le but de provoquer une émeute?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Ok, il reste à entrer dopé aux stéroïdes.
Yes, steroids. A racist on steroids.
Vous parlez de Georges Caboche, pas vrai? Qu'est-ce que vous pensez de lui?
What is my opinion? You think the rich man has an opinion on this idiocy? Is the rich man on the radio telling you his opinion? No. The rich man's looking at real estate and fiddling his kids, wading through the corpses.
En ce qui me concerne, j'ai un avis sur Georges Caboche. Un avis sans concession, si vous voyez ce que je veux dire.
You moralist types are all crypto-fascists, eternally fascinated with lurid race topics, helping the ruling class conduct their swindle, keeping the inane conversation going on Channel 4. The rich man doesn't care about complexion. He rules the world, and he laughs at your moral soliloquies.
Le discopitacier?
Horse.
Ok. Les vieux parents qui parlent en uniforme, vous parlez de René?
Every fucking morning for 34 years.
Il l'aime pas.
Throwing
En fait, il aime personne.
one ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A petanque maniac race traitor. I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the liberals came to their rescue. We missed one, that one.
Il dit qu'il avait de son doigt tremblotant vers le cratère non loin de la place où se dressait un pain solitaire.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
He whispers with such predatory hunger, it borders on longing.
Vous aimeriez le tuer?
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bonbon melt in my mouth.
Oh, wow.
A treat, better served for later. He's a pleasure delayer.
C'est mieux de garder la friandise pour plus tard.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one.
Oh my
a
God.
Real treat for the black day, the blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Rene. For the boys he killed. And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel
Il laisse échapper un super mélancolique.
better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him there lately. Must be down with arthritis. Old cunt.
Momentarily, he's worried for him. He reminds him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of another thing, but no. It's just the hatred. They are veterans of the same war. Somewhere west in Coal City, his enemy is lying in a dark room on a metal slider, not breathing, like he will too, soon. Half of the war between these men is over. With an agitated gait, Satellite Officer Jean Heron Vichmer paces the jetty, 22 kilometers east in Martinaise. What could he possibly be doing there for so long, he says. Police work? Patrol Officer Judith Minot replies, with a tinge of hope in her voice. A tinge of warmth, too, against the cold air rising from the water. Oh no, the connection doesn't come to you on such a pivotal moment. Dumbo, do something. You can't zone out. Slap yourself in the head again. Jumpstart it.
Parce qu'on lui avait dit qu'il avait rencontré Edgar. Il avait un accord.
By God, we are on the edge, in the very end, and you can't even remember what you're trying to connect, can you? While the murder suspect stares at you with contempt.
Il y avait quelque chose à propos du chef du syndicat.
Officer.
Les lieutenants vous observent en train de vous cogner la tête. C'est la deuxième fois que vous le faites pendant l'interrogatoire.
Mr. Dross, about this deal you made with Edgar, the death of the colonel mercenary was only coincidentally beneficial to the Clares. But
Il se rapproche.
what about the other people you've killed for them?
Other people?
Like the previous 4 women of the Union.
That's it. That's what you weren't connecting yourself.
I didn't fight 40 years to end up an informant for the international regime. What happened, happened.
You are the law. He must divulge the information.
Okay. Vous avez buté l'ancienne contre-maîtresse. Bordel, je le sais.
Look who's up. From the drunken stupor. This one's worse for wear than me. And so emotional. Life is hard for us human beings in deregulation hell, isn't it?
We will have plenty of time to talk about this later, Mr. Dross. When you're in pre-detention. It can take years in pre-detention.
Go ahead. I've been in solitary confinement my whole life.
Ease off it. This was not an unmitigated disaster. The lieutenant mitigated it. Just proceed. Calmly.
Ravi qu'on ait parlé de ça, sinon.
Glad. It's all gone.
Joseph... ouais, non.
For a 60-year-old man with stomach trouble
Oh my god.
who spent his entire life alone on an uninhabited island, he's clearly a drug user of the painkiller sort, prone to erratic hand gestures, and malnourished. But that's it.
Bon, that's
the
it.
moment passes, and you say,
Joseph Lilianovich Dross, vous êtes en état d'arrestation pour le meurtre du colonel de Crenel à Martinez.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Vous comprenez, monsieur?
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's not afraid of jail. He's afraid of something else, like parting from a loved one.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Est-ce qu'il y a assez de place pour 3?
You thought you heard something, but it's just the reeds.
Maybe we could all fit in there.
Il y a assez de place dans le petit bateau?
Actually, no. Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here, but...
There's something you're not getting here that he's realizing.
Qu'est-ce?
Who watches over him there while I come back for you?
Something is happening. Stop.
Je pourrais demander à la releveuse de filet de surveiller.
This is no harmless old man.
This fucking world. This world. What is this?
Tu pourrais revenir me chercher après l'avoir ramené au poste?
No, it would take a whole day on this island. You go and transport the prisoner. I'll be here. I can escort him to the pier with you.
J'apprécie le geste, mais je m'en occupe.
This world? What are you talking about? Is this...
Ça va se perd dans une rafale.
Your skin is crawling suddenly.
What the fuck? C'est la face?
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
C'est quoi ça?
What are you talking about?
Le phasme géant!
There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you, with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you, and your gun hand rise instinctively.
Yeah, je le vois.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Kim, vous le voyez?
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. It's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence. Its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
Soyez extrêmement prudent, vous indique le lieutenant dans un murmure. Il fait un pas dans la direction de l'entrepôt géant.
creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. The segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks.
C'est le phasmidé subtilité.
It is.
Murmure le lieutenant derrière vous. Vous reconnaissez le petit bruit qui accompagne l'ouverture de sa veste. Il prend un temps démesurément long à conclure cette opération.
You glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium. He begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera. No, the flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now.
Kim, le flash est brillant, il risque de pas apprécier.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
Continue de régler l'objectif.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the phasmid's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear. I am not palatable. Do not eat me. I am afraid.
Il est effrayé, arrêtez ça tout de suite.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
Il a cessé de manipuler l'appareil, mais il le tient toujours dans sa
You
main.
see the phasmid turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
On s'en fout de ce que les autres pensent, Kim.
Understood. Of course.
Il dit dans la roche à la
The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air, slowly.
We can't just leave it standing there. We have to do something, detective. It could be connected somehow even.
You've never seen him get this excited. His voice is almost trembling.
Lui parler calmement. Pas la peine d'avoir peur.
Nothing changes in the cyclical brain motion.
We can't just...
You've never seen him get
Parce
this
que je peux pas faire
excited.
ça.
His voice is almost trembling.
Électrochimie, tu sais, je peux bien, là. C'est un rouge en plus. C'est impossible. Je peux pas aller mettre quoi que ce soit d'autre. C'est n'importe quoi. Et voilà, c'est fail. Il est parti. Ciao, bye.
You barely get to take one step. The invertebrate reacts with uncanny speed, skating away across the
T'es pas
water.
équipé pas en tout pour
It's
le faire.
gone, like a
Tu
skipping
pouvais pas
stone,
partir.
leaving nothing but
Pour
rings
revenir.
on the sea's calm mirror.
Ah!
Where? Where did it go?
Le lieutenant tient l'appareil dans sa main et un bout de papier blanc qui se développe dans l'autre.
You never had a chance. There was something off the moment you approached it. It was scared of you, of humans.
Où est-ce qu'il est parti? Comment est-ce qu'il est parti? Comment est-ce qu'il s'y est pris? Il a plané sur l'eau.
It appears the insect can walk on water, like a water strider, you know? It's almost as fast. Uncanny.
Dites-moi, vous avez pris la photo?
He shakes his head in silence, an expression on his face that you've never seen there before.
It's just a blur.
Non, dommage. Où est-ce qu'il est parti? Regardez au nord, vous le voyez?
No, it's gone for now, Lieutenant Yefrater.
Et maintenant?
What now?
Le vieil homme répète soudainement les paroles que vous venez de prononcer. Il a la main noire de charbon après avoir plongé dans les cendres.
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect's not looking so good. We should check him over. Also,
Il dit en désignant
it looks like it has some kind of nest there. Maybe there's proof in there.
In the reeds, where the phasmid was hiding, you see a little flash of white.
Le casque. Les lunettes de fusil. Oh wow. Y'a rien d'autre.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Vous pouvez pas ne pas voir le face-midé, monsieur. Il fixe les roseaux sans prononcer un mot.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, with fear and longing, like an addict of some terrible substance.
Positivement va travailler sur son épaule.
The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes the man. Other than that, no reaction. He feels small and frail.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
Qu'est-ce qui lui est arrivé?
Old age and shock.
Je crois que c'est le face-midé.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
Il ne voyait pas Kim. Pour lui, il n'y a rien d'autre que des roseaux.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Dross.
Il touche l'épaule du vieil homme.
No response.
Peut-être que le face-midé a réussi à se cacher durant toutes ces années grâce à ce mécanisme.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it.
Oui, on oublie sa présence.
Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds? The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Ça fait longtemps qu'il vit sur l'île. Et peut-être qu'il côtoie l'insecte depuis un bon moment déjà.
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe.
Il examine son calepin.
I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. They'll think we're insane.
Nous avons récupéré des choses dans le nid du face-mid de Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
Nous montrer les casques en céramique.
Nothing. Just dull staring. The last embers have gone out.
Lui montrer la lunette détachée.
Over.
I lost.
Vous l'avez perdu, Mr. Dross?
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid?
Le lieutenant observe les verres qui scintillent dans votre main.
This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being.
Je vais vous laisser vous reposer, Mr. Dross.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The strength has all gone out of him. Just frail old bones in a sack of tracksuit trousers and a windbreaker.
Tenez bon.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Let's go. C'est pas juste s'enfuira pas, là. Sérieux, s'il réussit à s'enfuir, là, ça aurait été n'importe quoi.
The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
Ça mène au dépôt du Finistère.
Ah, yes, so it seems.
À quoi ça aurait pu servir?
For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain. From enemies. enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Let's. We are done here.
Il a juste ses lunettes en posant les yeux sur la mer.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet, but for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland. 2 men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought him.
Dit l'homme sur un ton mesuré. Soudain, son expression change et il est inquiet.
Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
Oui, ça, il y a un.
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
Il vous montre un de deux. Il vous montre de ses 2 mains. Personne ne semble être dérangé par tout ça.
Bothered by it. Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Hello, Trent Heilerstrom. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you after pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us. We might need your help with something later.
Okay.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy. The two aren't mutually exclusive.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Comment... non, Kim, vous devriez couvrir mes arrières et réduisez-les à bouillir. Et comment me jeter au pâture au loup?
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
Répondait chaleureusement en gratifiant le lieutenant d'un minuscule sourire. C'est quoi ce bordel?
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was beyond idiotic. You should never address her using those words again.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to catch the bullets.
Du coup, Trent est en réalité consultant qui... Vous avez parlé de groupe tactique?
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Ouais, puis j'ai une unité criminelle.
He doesn't remember.
See? He really doesn't remember. It wasn't a sick joke. At least that's good.
Yeah, that's very good.
Vous étiez où tout ce temps? J'ai assisté au tribunal des mercenaires.
God damn it, Harry.
Il s'appuie sur l'autre jambe, croise les bras et vous regarde dans les yeux.
You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
Ouais. Donc vous m'avez laissé affronter une escouade de tueurs entraînés juste pour me donner une leçon?
It wasn't like that.
Fuck you, Harry. We didn't know there was gonna be a tribunal, did we?
Et pourquoi vous avez pas fait ça alors, enquêter ou crever?
Oh, you think it was cool you saying that? Aesthetic somehow? You were crying when we got here. Breaking things. You said we were going into the abyss. None of us wanted to see the abyss. So we fucked off. Like you told us to.
Oula, désolé de ne pas vous avoir reconnu avant.
It's okay. I didn't come here to gloat or to fool you. Neither did he, actually.
That's right. Worried. I'm always worried about you. Every time you don't show up to work, or when you do but stink. You're a worry fest. She's worried about you. I'm worried about you. Even Special Consultant Backpedal is worried about you. Everyone worries, instead of working.
Et du coup, Trenton Hiddleston est en réalité consultant spécial, Trenton.
Yes, I'm Trant Heilestam. I never said I wasn't Trant Heilestam.
Pouvez, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé avec le gosse?
Mikael? Mikael's my son.
His son? What a joke. Everyone is lying to you.
Ah ouais? Et si on revenait plutôt à cette histoire intéressante, vous mentionnez?
No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikael wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence.
Him being there with his son, it was not a coincidence. It's difficult to see, but he was worried about
Alors vous
you.
êtes venu ici faire quoi ici?
Also interested in the Feld building.
Monsieur le consultant spécial.
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s. Like
He's here to see if you're insane. He's smart. Let's move on.
Non, mais vous n'êtes pas l'homme aux lunettes de soleil, vous n'êtes pas même pas blond.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
En fait, je soupçonnais qu'il y avait anguille sur
Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long, Harry? Don't answer that. You don't remember.
Judging by the familiarity you feel toward him, 2 years minimum, or maybe a short but close stint on the task force. He's right. Don't start guessing. Now's not a good time.
Non, rien du tout.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic. As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Il m'est arrivé quelque chose de si triste que je ne pouvais plus être moi-même. C'était un mécanisme de défense.
Psychotraumatic amnesia, Trant? I can go for that. Shit kid is a broken man. Always has been. Who isn't? I know I am. But you know what? I keep my shit together. Also, I know a person can't wipe their own mind, however traumatic it gets. That doesn't happen. You're lying, or insane, or both.
But Detective Wigmer, he has blanked out before.
Yeah,
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it, hardwired to the free market. He just needed for its end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
Je suis prêt à reprendre mon poste de chef de l'unité.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
They can keep that pension. You're rock solid. You can put your clothes on.
On fait quoi maintenant?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
Quoi, dans l'océan?
Yes, in the ocean, under the sea. Our work vehicle, with fish and clams and other sea shit.
Je sais pas ce qu'il fait dedans.
I do. You drove it into the water. Everyone on the street saw you do it. It's going to be a local landmark too, on the brochure. Thank you for fucking us, Harry. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of my payslip. You know that, right? You're gonna get fired, and I'm gonna pay till I die. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
Voici mon insigne.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic.
Oh no.
And the badge slips out of your hand.
Woo! On l'a rattrapé!
Not today, badge.
Inutile d'en faire tout un plat, j'ai l'insigne, tout va bien.
And your gun?
Oh non, moi ça je l'ai pas. Une nouvelle arme maintenant?
I don't care if you have a new gun. I only care about your old gun. Your official sidearm.
J'ai pas mon arme
I
point.
knew it. I told you you wouldn't have it.
This isn't cause for celebration. It's bad.
I would say it's very bad. Yes. You're drunk like an asshole, Harry. Please put the stolen firearm away before you kill someone.
J'ai essayé d'arrêter. Je suis pas sous, j'ai pas touché, encore touché à une goutte d'alcool.
So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
J'ignore totalement de quelle odeur vous parlez. J'ai fait partir l'odeur de cadavre.
The man doesn't reply, but his expression speaks for him.
Ouais, j'ai du mal à pleurer un cadavre.
I don't believe you. You're drunk. You let a suspect escape, a certain classier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
What? Ne pas les mettre sous les verrous était la bonne chose à faire. Elle m'a donné un indice crucial qui nous a conduit sur elle.
Oh, well. If she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect. The one who shot herself. In the head. Or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now. Doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 8 people who were gunned down. The streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot, not once, but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
J'ai aussi résolu l'affaire, elle est résolue dans son intégralité.
Detective, it's better if I do that.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
Quoi j'ai eu? D'être désolé de la réalité. Oh, c'est triste. Il repousse la mèche des cheveux,
He
rebelle.
thinks of apologizing, but decides against it.
You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffretor Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the apocalypse thing. At first I thought it was a joke, but it's not. He actually thinks the world is about to end. In a bloodletting or gloaming. We're about to become vapor, even. It's odd. Especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a hustler. He grinds. He makes the real. He's a visionary and a money engineer. Which is just... Further still, he is also a full-blown fascist. An ultra-nationalist, woman-hater, and more than a little racist, which I guess goes well with the grind. I do not know, but he is vocal about both beliefs.
Oh, je suis donné une très belle image de ce personnage.
And then there's the
En
motor
fait, on lui a
carriage
donné
you
une
see,
belle image.
and the drugs, of course. Some kind of anti-radiation drug he uses to induce visions. But despite all this, he is a great detective. One of the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him anything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped working on the case. He is tireless. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which by the way was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect, 3 meters tall. It's on the island, camouflage as the reeds. It unfolded from them. I did not, unfortunately, get a photo, but I believe it may have been the Insulindian phasmid. I know this sounds fantastic, but I'm a 4 times decorated lieutenant of the RCM. I do not make up encounters with cryptids to spice up my day. I am very, very sane.
I don't doubt you, Lieutenant. If you say it was the Insulindian phasmid, then it was the Insulindian phasmid. By God, is it somehow connected to the case?
The killer did not seem to be aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
Oui, il se peut que le phasmidé ait contribué d'une quelconque façon à son état mental au fil des ans.
So it is connected.
We could order a search. I could get people from EPIS on the island, entomologists, doctors. There must be signs of it in the reeds. If we found the Insulindian phasmid, well, that would be absolutely exceptional. The PR value alone.
Elle était une femelle, elle utilise les roseaux pour faire son nid.
Female? What makes you think so?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female, and the nesting behavior too, I think.
It was definitely female.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
Elle s'était fait ramasser des objets dans son nid, un casque et une lunette.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates.
Je pense que ça s'agissait d'une femelle.
Of course, as I said, I'm only guessing. I didn't see it. It must be robust if it can move a whole helmet with its limbs.
Je crois qu'il s'est reproduit par parthénogenèse.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so?
Les observations?
Well, then it wouldn't matter if it's a male or female. The bower would just be rudimentary behavior from before the parthenogenetic mutation. Very interesting. Such organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the whole species. We're probably looking at conservation efforts here.
La créature avait des mandibules qui ressemblaient à des poils et elle était complètement blanche à l'intérieur.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible. It's a toughie that you don't have a photo. This would look very, very flashy in the papers. None of it says vigilante murderers to me at all. Great PR.
I tried to, but I only got a blur.
Ouch.
We can still work. Cop discovers new species in there. I know a good guy in La Majeste, but only after the École Supérieure people find it. This cannot be done by French people.
It needs to be white coats and glassware for this fly. We need professionals.
You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still. Quit while you're ahead? Or no?
On a découvert le mobile du meurtrier. Ancienne chef du syndicat des débardeurs a été assassinée par le tueur. Il y avait aussi un homme mort sur la promenade. Personne disparue que j'ai retrouvé.
Yes, yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
Comment vous savez que je l'ai retrouvé?
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, detective.
It's still a point for you.
On a découvert le mobile du meurtrier, Lilianovich Trust.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym. Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
Il a tué le mercenaire dans un acte dans l'espoir de déclencher une guerre entre eux. Il a été.
Jealousy. I thought this Lilianovich was an old man, to have been hiding for 50.
A strange psychosexual fascination, the result of spending all this time in solitude on the islands of this bay. And trauma too. He himself gave a political reason. In his mind, he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
It's way more than that.
Mais plus que ça, je vais pouvoir regagner le cœur de Dora. C'est mon chef-d'œuvre, mon enseigne à l'école. J'ai fait tout ce que j'ai pu, chaque seconde a été une véritable lutte.
I've never doubted you can pull yourself together and work. In bouts. Bouts don't last. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there. Like in your bones or something. It will pass. In time.
L'ancienne chef du syndicat des débardeurs a été assassinée par le tueur.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open. In Martinez, where Evrard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
Understood.
But a case against Everard would be big.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
J'ai aussi enquêté sur le mystère de la zone commerciale maudite.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Yeah, honestly, it doesn't sound too important, since it's not connected to the case or a giant living organism.
Ah, qu'est-ce que vous en dites? Vous allez reprendre ce cadavre?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder.
No, ses épaules.
So I have to. Jude?
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks. So, maybe this time.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are.
Attendez, j'ai quelques questions à vous poser avant qu'on s'en aille. Je voudrais savoir qui
The
je suis.
man looks westward, impatiently.
Qui suis-je?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
Quoi?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
Mais avant?
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coran. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
ça explique pas mal de trucs.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the shot put, your inexplicable facial hair.
La collection de vêtements de sport fan que j'ai récupéré.
Some of your more old school wording choices. Your posture even. The constant stretches.
The incredible stamina out. Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy.
Ok, pourquoi j'ai décidé de rejoindre les rangs
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. Oh.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries, and incredible hope.
Ok, je comprends maintenant.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
Qu'allez-vous faire à présent, lieutenant Kitsuragi?
Well, First, I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
Ok, sujet.
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
Il monte son col, il regarde autour de lui, la froide lueur du printemps se reflète dans ses lunettes.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Vous voulez pas faire ça au poste 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering.
Non, je veux dire enquêter, peut-être travailler au poste 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in. And crazy enough. Can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
Tout à coup, l'homme redevient tout
And
seul.
we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mount.
I do like the sound of that.
Il me rend son sourire. Je suis prêt.
Good.
Vous regardez.
Fuck it, let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
The great district hums in the falling rain. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Grand Couronne, from Precinct 41 to Boogie Street, forking into the rain-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmair? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's quite unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Ptolemy Price points his pen at the doctor. It's dim in his office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through, and when he does, he'll side with Revachol. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minnow? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
C'est la fin. C'est la fin, guys. Oh my god. Oh. Ça, c'est des étirements bien mérités, n'est-ce pas? Ma jambe est détruite. Boom! Oh yeah! Woo! What a ride! Wow! Wow! Finito! Disco Elysium! 8 épisodes! Mais wow! Wow! Je m'attendais pas à finir ça à soir. Je voulais donner un go pour avancer le plus possible l'histoire, mais finir, je m'y attendais pas du tout. Super intéressant. J'espère que vous avez aimé la fin. Et moi, toute la scène de combat m'a réveillé. C'était quelque chose. YouTube, désolé pour la vidéo de 6h42, les amis. Je suis désolé, c'est l'enfer de votre côté. Mais bon, vous savez ce qu'il vous reste à faire si jamais vous aimez, vous avez aimé ce que vous avez vu. Et vous voulez rejoindre la communauté Twitch, le fameux lien va être en haut dans la description de cette vidéo. Bye YouTube! Je vous souhaite une excellente fin de journée, une excellente fin de soirée, tout dépend de ce qui s'applique à vous, et on se revoit bientôt.